Mere months after banning AP African American Studies, Florida has now effectively banned AP Psychology. Reasoning behind it, well, because an AP Psychology learned about gender and about the fact that gay people do exist. Because of this, well, surprise, surprise, if you're gay or trans in a country that effectively tries to ban your existence, they have a little bit of an effect on your psychology, and also because just sexuality and gender are a part of psychology. We are still trying to recover from the, black people benefited from slavery, and now this. I've collected a few videos for you guys to back up this entire thing happening in Florida. So make sure you watch this video up to the end, because I'm going to leave my own little thoughts at the end of this video. Let's get into it.
Hi, Florida House Democratic Leader Ventress Driscoll here, and I'm just coming to you with this quick update that the state of Florida today banned an AP psychology course because it includes instruction on gender identity and sexual orientation. Friends, this is a class that's been offered for 20 years in the state of Florida. And the AP program is the opportunity, or gives kids the opportunity, to take college level courses and get college credits while they're in high school. I personally benefited from AP classes and was able to test out of certain requirements in college. And there are a lot of students who depend on this. In fact, it's estimated that roughly 27,000 students across the state of Florida will be impacted by this decision. These are 27,000 students who have schools starting next week, most of them, because most districts are starting school next week. And now they won't be able to take a college level course that they signed up for. And I just want to bring everybody back to this theme of the suppression of our stories, because that is what's happening with the extremists who are running Florida's government right now. First, it was the AP African American History class. Now it's this AP Psychology class, once again trying to suppress the stories of the LGBTQ plus community, or whether it's women and they're suppressing our ability to have autonomy over our bodies, or it's the Asian American community, who also has been under attack with bad legislation this year. This is a concerted effort to suppress our stories, and we must remember this, and remember that our power and our ability to fight back is in voting. When it comes to the next election cycle, we have to all rally together, build a diverse coalition, and vote for the Florida that we want to see. We have to vote for positive change, because this is way too extreme. It is not okay. And I just wanted you to know what is going on, because they're continually trying to divide us, to stop us from talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion, and suppress our stories. Whether you're a parent or not, do you give a shit about your kids' education or the kids around you for the future? Because the rest of us, we're going to get old, and the kids that are going through school right now are going to be the people who are taking care of us in the future. So do you care about that? Oh, Rhonda, in the sponge of hate, Florida, has now essentially made it so that kids can't even take AP psychology. First, they banned Black History AP, they banned Women's Studies, Gender Studies, all of that. But because Psychology AP also includes some gender information and education, this too cannot be taught in Florida. For those of you who don't understand the AP classes, they are college credited classes, meaning that when your kid takes AP courses, they go towards college credits. Essentially, they can go into their freshman year with like a half year's already worth of credits for school. Do you know how much money that saves if you can skip an entire year or a semester of college? Anyway, I got a text last night from a good friend of mine. She was sending me a screenshot from her daughter, who is now a senior in high school, and she's fed up. This is it. Please pause to read. I'm linking the actual news article about this so that you all can hear it for yourselves. But just know, my friend is now and her daughter now have no choice but to send her out of state for college. And while I am really glad that she has an opportunity and can afford to do that, most people can't. Most people can't send their kids out of state for education. So I don't know what's going to happen in the next 10, 15, 20 years if this isn't rectified somehow. But Florida, you have a problem. You have many problems. Let's just add this one to it, okay? And for all you used tampon, minivan, Taliban, Moms for Liberty assholes, if you think that AP courses can just be changed to fit your narrative in the state of Florida or any state that you happen to be trying to get into, it doesn't work that way. There's an entire college board of people from all over the nation, professional teachers who have been handpicked to make sure that AP courses fit a particular accreditation process for all states in all colleges across the United States of America. I know this because my brother is on the board.
Enrolled in AP Psychology this school year.
I was hoping that I'd be able to get some insight in what the class is like at, a college level.
But Thursday, the College Board says that the Florida Department of Education has effectively banned AP Psychology in the state by instructing superintendents that teaching foundational content on sexual orientation and gender identity is illegal under the new parental rights and education law.
Welcome to Florida Minute, where I give you, just around a minute of the news you missed this morning, because very much something always happening in the Sunshine State. Lots to talk about. Today I've got an update on education and more, so let's just get right into it. The College Board says the Florida Department of Education has, quote, effectively banned an AP psychology class in the state. The only way districts in Florida will be allowed to teach the course is if they omit any chapters on gender identity and sexuality. The College Board that approves AP courses in the U.S. says it will not change the content of the course to suit the state's parental rights and education law or the Florida Department of Education specifications. LGBTQ advocacy group Equality Florida put out a statement on the decision saying, quote, the DeSantis regime is at war with students and parents, censoring more AP curriculum and denying students the opportunity to earn college credit. AP African American history is already banned in the state. And WMFE News will be airing a series called Central Florida Seen and Heard Immigration Divide all next week. The series will explore the impacts of the state's new immigration laws, SB 1718, which went into effect at the beginning of July. The law has stepped up requirements on businesses to verify the immigration status of employees using a system called E-Verify. It's made it illegal to transport undocumented people across state lines and requires hospitals to ask about a person's immigration status. I talked with WMFE News Director Latoya Dennis and reporters Danielle Pryor and Joe Burns about the series. Listen to the conversation at the link in my bio. You can also find it at WMFE.org.
So I can't stress this enough when I say this. If you are a parent in the state of Florida who has the ability to leave the state or enroll your student in some type of online course, or you have the means to, please leave or figure out alternative education. Because I'm not joking when I say this, the more and more I see what is happening with the education system in the state of Florida, the more I think that the goal here objectively is to keep students in the state of Florida for cheap and exploitative labor. And I say this because we just recently saw in Florida that he is willing to use a system that will essentially track people's legalized citizenship status. And in doing so is forcing people to flee the state. This means there are going to be a number of jobs and industries that no longer have people who are able to do them. And many of these industries have been people who have been used for cheap labor. And instead of paying these people adequate wages, they've done things like this. They rather keep undocumented and use undocumented immigrants as forms of cheap labor. But now that they can no longer do that, they are going to have to turn to somebody else to do so. And I'm telling you now, if your kid comes from a public Florida high school and attempts to apply to a university or college outside of the state of Florida, and they see that this shit is going on, they are not going to accept your kid. They will not believe that your kid had the proper education or anything when it comes to just learning in a classroom. Ron DeSantis' administration has essentially barred a high school advanced placement psychology course in the state because it includes lessons on sexual orientation and identity that violate state law, the College Board said Thursday. This is why we're also seeing in states like Texas as well that doctors are fleeing, because when you start to literally go after things that are accepted by universally multiple scientific groups and organizations around the globe, when you start to reject this knowledge and these teachings, it erodes at the education that is being received. We are sad to have learned that today the Florida Department of Education has effectively banned AP Psychology in the state by instructing Florida superintendents that teaching foundational content on sexual orientation and gender identity is illegal under state law. The state has said districts are free to teach AP Psychology only if it excludes any mention of these essential topics. This is terrifying, and it is going to continue to get worse. We've already seen the removal of a different AP course. It was the AP African American Studies. They're going after anything that does not teach history in that through lies and deception. So many children are going to be at risk because of this, and so many children are not going to get the education that they need and are going to suffer for it and be stuck in states like Florida.
So let's have a little bit of education, a little bit deeper on this. So why did the state of Florida just ban a class that 28,000 students took last year? Well, the college said the college board said that the state told school superintendents to stop teaching AP psychology. The course talks about gender and sexuality, and DeSantis signed a law banning their instructions in schools. The Florida Department of Education responded, telling the college board to quote, and I quote, "Stop playing games." Let me know what you think about this entire thing, situation, whatever, in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed, and I'll see you in my next video. Peace.